Alright, we're doing it once again. It's like, okay, well then in that case, we're just gonna go ahead and channel a slight little message today because I feel like there's so much that I don't actually have to say today, which is great. So let's just do the card and call it a day ski. Let's see the overview. I think today, January 7th, is such a big point. It's such a big meeting. It's like between the Venus and Mars CAZIMIs of January, there's this star point in which both are able to actually like connect. So, off top, we're talking about New Earth and your will. And at this point, I think one of the things that I'm really connecting with the people that I'm supposed to be connecting with at this time is like our will to be in the new world was required of us. It's like something that's very, I think it's kind of like what I told you guys. It's like something that maybe you didn't want to necessarily accept because it does require like, it's not necessarily like a fix, a positive, but it's like, it doesn't have to just do with like, you know, many of us like could hear a new world and knew what our place was in it. And I think this is just that time where it's like, it's time to will our way into exactly that, right? Like it's where karma's like, okay, but it's time for you to actually go. And I think, you know, having such a loving heart, I think for many of you who do resonate with like me as an actual person, which again, I'm really excited because the studio, I'm not just like flooding stuff for no reason, but I am flooding a lot of things because I want for people to, I really do kind of want to like flick some bitches off. Like I really do want to say enough polarizing things to where it's kind of just like whoever's still standing actually fucks with like everything holistically, unconditionally. You know, which is kind of in my test for 2025 because I want hyper specificity in my relationships and I actually want mirrored spiritual capacity. It's like a non-negotiable. And when I do commit lifelong to a relationship that's like for me, it's so deep. I don't actually need quantity. Like when I met Dennis, it's not like me and Dennis are so satisfied with the exact mirroring and the caliber of our relationship. We really don't roll, we can't roll with everybody because it would just be like lying on his face. Like, you know, there's having a good time, but you have a better time with your like mirrored soul. You know what I mean? You really do. So it's like, yeah, I can hang out with the guys, but not too long, you know, especially if you don't have enough qualities that like, you know, so I think we're all kind of at that place. Not we're all, but if you're the star magician in your reality and perhaps you like have gone through this many years of my work and education and you actually like see the insanity of my life and like what I really am. The whole point of doing that is because like me and Dennis have been trying to send out a call for like who really at a niche level fucks with us. Because we're not actually going for like millions of like people. Like we actually believe that like we're trying to like show an example that's like with Dennis, like I don't have to have, it's not about like not wanting like higher standards. It's like you don't, there's like so much that you don't need because you're really like this type of relationship like literally like leaves you in the present moment, and the present moment you don't often like hold too much. Like you're not really like, you know what I mean? So when I say like our aspirations are much slower and you know we don't really dream of like grandeur capitalist like structures, like I mean it's cool to fly a bitch out on a private jet, but also I guess but at the same time it's like where me and Dennis are at, it's like I think people don't understand, it's like that is like so much on top of the thing because when you're with higher quality company you could be going to Kroger, you could be going to Publix, and it's like it's the same as some of what which is what I mean. It's like it's kind of like where we're at right now, but I feel like I guess I was just saying it's like today things are really able to connect because I stayed committed even when I didn't really think it was productive at certain points, to being like, well, the more honest I am and the more I share like my raw expression, especially, the more someone who might be interested in me at whatever level could like decide before they even like come in, like, is this really someone who like mirrors me, or is this like another one of those relationships where it's like, yeah, there's like I like this person, if there's nothing that's like they're cool to be around and stuff like that, but it's like this point in life is going to require you to start like assembling like what you came and incarnated here for. So it means including and finding the people that you're actually supposed to be doing and building with, you know. And I think it's just going to change, because some of you, like I've been telling you, is like, it's not just capitalism, but it's like having too many connections that aren't like spiritually aligned. They can align to you, but they're not like spiritually on your blueprint, is why like some of you run like empires that also at the end of the day, it's like, it's cool that I guess you've achieved that. But then if I asked you, what does your 24 hours a day look like when you have that much responsibility to these like really comprehensive and deep, you know, I feel like some people like myself, if I didn't put proper boundaries, or if I didn't have Dennis and I just kept going, and it's like I would just have so much on my plate all the time that I don't really, it does, at a point, once you're the person who's achieved it, does it even matter that like I could put 60 of my closest bitches on a private jet anytime and go, if it's like they're not even really my private bitch. And then if it's also like I only pursued some of these anomalies in that old world structure because it was a symbol of my value, but now I'm realizing like the more powerful thing is that my value doesn't actually even need to have a pipeline of external validation. It actually is just something for me to savor and feel and move from, and then actually just like feel really whole and satiated in relationships. And I just feel like, I think that some of that stuff would be more proportionate if you like had like that eternal energy flowing. And like while I was homeless, I was still saying, it's like so many people, even though I'm going through like material things, the through line of like documenting those moments for me was just like, dude, I still have like, I could even like the point of my homeless era was like just to show you like I could be on the streets right now, and my love for this human is like, it's like, you know, many people stopped me when me and Dennis were like literally like we were skin and bones, and they were just like, you guys look like you're straight out of a 70s movie. We'd be like, no shower, 15 days, no food, no water. Like, and they'd be like, how are you still saying we look like something to look? I was like, I love your outfit. I was like, this is funny that you call this an outfit. Like, you know, it'd be like crazy moments like that where it's like, it was just to show like me that like the real valuable thing is like what I really do possess, which is like, I feel very fortunate that at 20 years old, like God chose that for me, because I really would have needed it in my 20s. I think my 20s for me and Dennis were kind of like our darkness could be like very self-destructive. So I'm just really grateful that like I did have like such higher guidance in my at the top of my 20s, because it definitely shaped how I participated in them and how much I got out of them and how focused I was able to stay. But it also, like I said, I let go very early on before a lot of stuff got to whatever. And I was like really able to make like mature choices to be like, dude, if you really think about like what's needed, like what's like, I don't steer from like the fun of life. Like the things that provide fun in my life are very simple things. And then I don't really stray too far from the simplicity of those fun things. It's kind of like how me and Dennis have gotten so good at like throwing a function, because our functions are going to be very different than the way you girls throw functions. Many of you think you're the function thrower, but the function isn't just about the most lavish like setup and like space and time for a function. It's like truly about like capitalizing on like what is the atom of fun in this party, and like does the host's ability to curate, you know, physical guests actually translate to what they delivered and what those guests would actually be able to do and tap into as fun. And that can just look like a lot of things. Like I said, I've had parties that are probably proper. Like, I don't fucking know. You girls have probably been to every type of fucking party in the world, you know? And the definition isn't fun. There's something to do, there's engagement, there's like whatever, but it's not necessarily like you're having personal fun that's honest and in an authentic manner. So, you know, I do this all the time. I look at you girls, like, you know, look at you girls' tours. Like, when I rewrote my tour, I was like, I'm doing something very different because I don't want to tour with a bunch of bozos. Why? Just because, like, we're artistic peers? No. You know, like, I really, like, want to be around people that I, like, actually like. Like, even just, like, making art, I was like, I want to, like, you know, and I was talking to, like, certain photographers and stuff for, like, my studio, and I was kind of just, like, thinking about certain things. I was like, you know, when I was telling them, it was like, you know, it really doesn't have much to do with skill level. It's teach you and, like, training you and bringing you on as a photographer. It has a lot more to do with, like, your relationship to me and my husband. Like, I just like want people that are like vibrant, like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's why I spend the time that I do to really be transparent about like what I am, because I'm actually really happy for whoever leaves when I drop a hot take about my political beliefs. So I'm really happy for whoever's like, fuck that girl, and I like wear a certain outfit or when I share a nude or something. It's like I'm really excited for that because I am in fact trying to really understand like who, you know, in this magnetic world, like who is really there. I think it's just like a very big surprise. This is being presented a foundation that I don't think you. This is the thing. This is exactly what I talked about. This is like when I met Dennis. Dennis comes into my life. He comes in 4 Pentacles. This is a whole foundation. It really changed everything that I was doing because I was thinking like being the nebula of this big, like, I was like, again, I'm like the OG scenester. Like, I'm like in the scene. Like, that's definitely like what I like. That's like what my parents' collaboration on the net would have produced, if I'm being honest. Like, between the two of them, it's like a scenester. And I feel like this is that lifestyle where it's like, yes, 8 of Swords, your spiritual truth is basically providing all these other people around you spiritual truth. So you're getting in prison though because it's your party you're throwing for a bunch of bitches who like, yeah, you fuck with them, I guess. Or it's another contract of like, yeah, I guess we could do this. Or yeah, I can pay for the vacation. Or yeah, I can, yeah. But it's like, then you get to this introduced on this day to something that has the foundation. And perhaps this is why Spirit was like trying to get you to like release all those things in that time, because it's like the foundation that does come in, it's like it makes you drop your utensils because it's like the remedy for all of this, which is like it's really this, it's almost like how they talk about the year of the snake and the year of the horse is like a light switch, a shut off of, it's like a complete like what was once happening is now not happening. It's like the reason the year of the snake is so perfect before the year of the horse, because the year of the horse is sturdy. It's so good. The horse that you're about to ride can get you to, it can get you to the west. Like, you know what I mean? You can go find gold on the back of your horse. And I feel like this experience, these things are just going to initiate you, because these are all like, do you see how they just like float around you and remind you of the spiritual truth that you're not integrating or that you refuse to look at? Like when I had so many people in my life, because again, a lot of us, and I'm not even say a lot of us, because my studio it's a public archive, so it can service a lot of people. It's meant to. But when I talk about the people who really like me, like Alexis Raymond, like me as a person, like right now, like as an actual person, not just like as a cool person who's like, because there's people who will know me as a good boss, and that's a good thing too. Like you should know me as a good person who's capable of like running this studio. But I also think that there's like the people who would like, I think I actually have the capacity to take up space in her actual real life, not just like as someone who like uses her services, but like as a personal person. I'm talking to you guys, because it's like. It's kind of like that. It's like, you know, when I want to stay shielded because I'm just doing the humanitarian thing, I'm doing the like, oh yeah, everybody, anybody, sure, yeah. Oh, you're so cool. Oh, nice to meet you. Like, right? We're kissing the babies and we're fucking showing up at the. But it's a slippery slope, because you can commit fully to a life of doing that and then having pretty much never having the foundation, pretty much never having anything real. And that's kind of like what I was writing this morning, but I kind of had to be more honest in my writing because I was kind of being a little bit of a little fake one. Because I think, you know, it takes time, obviously, to transition from this to being able to just like go where you want to go in a real way. But I think a lot of you at this time, like I said, that have been really trying to get prepared to, because I think people who really want to know me and Dennis personally, not like, again, not for what we make, but like see us as like people they would want in their lives in some capacity. I think they very much know the value, and I think they know that it would have to be presented as like a courtship. It would have to be presented like, I've done my research. I know, because you guys can see how discerning we are. It's like we're not short for friends. It's like I think people too, like where my family and all these people are like tripping. They're like, oh, you guys are losers, you know, and things like, girl, you don't know how to, like people like you guys definitely know. It's like, oh, Alexis and Dennis don't fuck with everybody. Like they don't just like make music because they're bad at it or because they're like whatever. It's like their shit's very niche, and it's like it takes a lot. Like they're not like, you know what I mean? Like our taste, it's like, you know, so most people definitely know that about us, and I think it takes I think we very much set like what our standard is like, if you want to be in my life and you don't even so much as take a second to get to know all the stuff that's presented here, don't even call me. Don't even call. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot that's presented here. It's a lot of our life, because again, we aren't someone that's coming from celebrity, and we're not someone who's coming from an old world structure. So, you know, whereas like plenty of like star seeds and things like that could be in timelines like that, but in order to know us, they wouldn't just know all of our information unless they came and got it from us. And so it's kind of like what I feel, which is like where it's like you're going to be able to really understand why Spirit was like, I want you to acknowledge your spiritual truth finally, so you can stop keeping this accessorized life going. Like you can stop like having all these people around you that don't really like serve like what's real, because as soon as the thing that could give you a foundation comes in, it does just wipe it. Like your morale, your everything, it's just like it gets wiped from what was. And I think for me, the reason I had to stop myself from what I was writing is because I was trying to walk away from the wrong people. I don't need to do that on my spirit anymore, which is like say that the people that I like really like, and I think they know now what I'm saying when I say that. I'm like, no, I really like see you as like a functional person. I like not as like a for any. And when I say functional, you see me and Dennis, like, I mean, many of you will know Dolphin Boy Records as like, whoa, he was doing something crazy. But like in practice, the reason I record this into time is like he was just a guy for me. Like he's just like a guy that is like I really want to spend personal time with. And because I feel that way about him unconditionally, it's like I don't expect him to be making fucking 74 records. I don't even expect him to fucking do anything. Like when I'm with Dennis, I'm like, dude, let's do nothing. Let's like chill out, you know? And of course, our natural essence, like obviously populates all the things we do. But you know, when I really passed the vibe check, when it was like he buried himself in a rehab energetically, only for a real true love to come and find him, I think it happened. You know, it's like I want you to be in the worst place ever. And I know that if I'm in the worst place ever right now and this person comes and seeks me out, they really love me because I'm not in a good place. I'm not happy. I don't feel great. I don't have anything to show for them. I don't have anything to give them. And I feel like I saw that come out of myself when I met Dennis. I was just like, holy shit, I've been really obsessed. And I just want to like shout out my husband because it's just like our relationship is like definitely in like one of the best places it has truly ever been. And I'm just really, really happy that I feel like we've healed enough to like actually like let ourselves get the full spectrum of like what being connected to each other really is. Yeah, and I always talk about it, but it's just like even more like lovemaking, even more like one of the things that I was talking about is like you wouldn't know this because you'd have to kind of go through the portal to understand it. But I was like, oh shit, like 2026 is actually like the sex revolution. It's like gonna be very similar to like an era of like a 60s revolution where there was just like such an openness because people were coming into harmonic convergence with people like with soul ties. Like it was one of the first times that I feel like people were like moving from a notion in a newer generation of like our souls are just connecting. Like we don't really have to look for division, we can look for that. And when you find soul connections, there's so much benefit to them. And I think obviously like sex and relating and sex magic and sexual healing, all those things are like certainly things that are available. But I've had like truly like such a sublime time, like and just like because it's like I don't really like I don't really feel the need to do anything else. Like it is really enough for me, like to just be like like every morning I wake up, I'm already being spooned and pet like a lizard, like my whole back, like I'm just like, I don't know, it's like I really don't feel it's really healthy for me. It's just put a lot of my aspirations like in a proper perspective, and it's just allowed me to like live very light and free, you know, having a connection where it's just like truly mirrored. So I want to shout out my husband because I'm just really proud of like us and everything we've like traveled through, because this is definitely like the sweet part of our life where it's just like our life is really just about making love. Like it really isn't about like anything else. Like we just make love with one another. I don't know. And not in a well, it's a lot of it. I don't know. It's not even one particular thing. It's just like the frequency and the safety is finally all caught up where it's like I really just have time right now to do that and to be healed by that, you know, experience. And I love that. And you know, 2025 kind of giving me visions that there could be more of that like tribe coming in the future. I really truly am just like, God, that's like over the top. Like, you know, that's why I work so hard at like really connecting with you guys and just like making you feel comfortable where you are, because I do know like to engage me would just pop. I'm the kind of person where you like leave everything behind to come like ride the circus. And so I always like really acknowledge that that's like a lot. You know, I acknowledge that like you're probably gonna have to leave behind a lot, you know, and it's not all bad things. It's people that are good people. It's like whatever, but you're just going for a more honest future that has to do with your spirit. And like the reason it's always going to be hard for them is because they don't they're not coming from the same lineage of spiritual thought. And so it's like, you know, they're good people, but it's like always gonna hurt somebody, I guess, when you have your reasons for going that have to do with like how your soul is ascending and you're just like remembering the truth. But these people like really provide you safety. Like they provide you with a foundation that you know that you can go all in on this investment. Like I just feel like today I woke up being like, all right, I'm gonna let everyone go, but I was like letting go the wrong things. Like I'm not gonna let go of the guys who are really for me, who've been like diligently trying to like excavate what was and take their time and be honorable and like, you know, just be respectful. Like I think too, like we did it. Like this December was our last of a lot of things, like, you know, because I'm really gonna free myself up to just like go with Dennis and then be ready for the connections that are like at that level exclusively, you know, because I have all these visions of like weddings I want to have, but I honestly just like want the people that are really that like familial to my soul, not familial to like my circumstance or just like loyalty of shared history. Like that's not really what I'm looking for, you know. Because I think you guys see how much like with Dennis and I was like, what the fuck? They just do so much shit. It's like you can kind of get a lot done, but dude, we're kind of doofuses. Like we're kind of just like it's not really. It's like lights on, head empty. We can do really great childlike masterpieces, but they're not. It's like how did he make 74 albums in less than 3 years? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know, dude. We're just like this like life just kind of like fuels us to like to just be here, and I just feel like, you know, today I was gonna wake up and it's like not on the day when I finally have really gotten someone's like really ready to move on now and put in this investment which will move them forward to New Earth. And it's because of how much of an investment you made it. I feel like people really know how much I wanted to make them feel really comfortable, and I wanted people to trust me before they ever had to put any dollars down. I want you to know that like I have your best interest at heart, just at a spiritual level. I don't want to see anybody like spiritually looping on anything that could be detrimental to them. But then there's also just like how much I really like people and how much my love is like really there without even having to do anything. Like as soon as I met Dennis, it's like it just like poured out of me because it's like an ancient love. It's not a love that started in this lifetime. Many of you, I feel like if you feel that way about like me or Dennis, like being connected, it's like what you're realizing is like, oh, I was trying to rationalize. It's just like a feeling of the thing. It's like it's a feeling of like depth and connection that obviously transcends your birth date, even in this life, you know. And this is what God wanted me to do. It's like, Alexis, I want you to expect the best. I want you to expect the best from those who are really for you. Because again, like the breakthroughs that Dennis has been having is like recently, I think he's just been like, it was kind of the same thing. It's like, I mean, we've been like together for 9 years, but it's like even still, like there was so much of like just right now where certain cycles ending have helped him be like, oh my God, Alexis, like you're like, he's just been really like so grateful to me in a way that only the achievement of what we have achieved for our personal cycles, not even like work. I mean, like just like achieving the fact that like, you know, I stood by his side when he didn't have anything, and now he has. It's so personal for him. He has everything. I think he could have. I don't think he could have even dreamed of being a musician that has 74 records that he feels are, and I'm gonna get emotional, that he really feels are like his best. And I'm so fucking proud of him because it's like, dude, he really deserves it. Like, he went through like so fucking much, dude. Like, he had everything taken from him. And it was never given back. Like, you know, like we had to build everything. Like, he never got it back. And he took that same 2015 MacBook and he started with a cracked out illegal version of Ableton, and then eventually like one of his old rehab buddies like bought a new copy of Ableton like 7 years ago or something, was like, I'm gonna give you the official copy, which is very kind. And he mastered it. Like, I'm really fucking proud of him. Like, so much like courage. Dude, I just really know what it feels like to actually be genius, and like you're not around anyone who's like that, and you're actually being called dumb. Like you're actually being told that you're like not enough, or like you're not what you are. And Dolphin Boy Records is the Akashic record of my husband's existence. He's my favorite person, so as someone who loves his art, but also as someone who just loves him, I feel really prepared for life because we both make our work for each other now, because I don't ever want to leave him alone. If anything ever happened to me, I want him to have all of me all the time, physically, in whatever way technology will let me do that right now. So I'm just so happy. He built the marketplace by himself. He's made prototypes for everything before he could even get his hands around this shit. He's doing it by himself. He's done every aspect. He has over 13, 14 artists. Like, he's developed he really runs an incredible label. And it's actually a label because there's actually a constant flow of new releases. And I'm just I'm fucking proud of the guy. Because this was buried. This was deep inside of him. This is not something that could have come. It didn't even have a clear path up and out of him. So I really thank God for that child was recovered, because he was so close to not being on this planet anymore at so many different points, and it would have been the biggest, darkest cloud to have lost that light of a human. So, yeah, I'm really happy in my life. Like, really happy for once. And I guess I'm just coming over here to say to you today is like, the investment comes in, in a way today that will affirm why it's so great that you were so open and so honest and so yourself and so loving unconditionally, because there will come a day when people feel safe enough to leap, because the cosmos are going to support them to know you can leap. Oh, God. So they mean the best thing that my husband has ever done for me is just pursue me. It changed my life. It's like the sweetest part of our marriage is like he was like verbatim my like dream guy. Is like, saw his face and I was like, it's like, I don't know how to explain, like, you're like kind of what has like been in my inner child psyche. Like, it's like what it's like, I don't fucking know. He's have crushes on the weirdest motherfuckers, like, as a child, but like Dennis is like the amalgamation of like all of the things. And when I saw him, and it's just like, I just thought he was flawless. It was just like, and then it's like, he's like, dude, it's really fucking weird that you say that because I like feel that way about you. And then I was like, oh shit, great, because I'm about to slut myself out for this person. Like, absolutely. So it's just like, you are, yeah, really awesome. Just, and yeah, I don't know. I think personal success is like all that there really is at this time in life. What you define as personally successful, yeah, it's a huge tower coming down that people are ready to like move forward, like, and I think I had to move forward from a lot of things, but I'm really excited that, yeah, like, I think, like, even me, like, I left my photography job, kind of not really like in an emotional way. There's just like, it's like one of those jobs where like, they don't know how to tell people we really only have like, they make buku money. They've like monopolized on the like yearbook, like whatever, nationwide. But the problem is like, they really only have a working season that's like 2 months long. But yeah, they tell you like, oh, like, you'll be hired here. And, and if you're a photographer, you get this. It's kind of always like free. You're kind of always like sovereign and freelancing. Even when you're like signed on to do something for whatever. But I just kind of like made the mature decision. It's like, well, rather than keeping myself loyal when you guys have no work for me, I'm just gonna like make myself open to like do what I want to do. And for me, working with Dennis is like one of the things too. When we were really young, we always said we like just really want to try to work towards a reality where we can work together. It's like why one of like my wedding film Things More Conscious and I was like so important, because like when we got to manage Thundercloud together, it was like the best. It's like the best thing ever. It doesn't matter about like a college degree. It's like so fun for me to work with Dennis. I just like love spending like pretty much all my time. And he's like, like when I just like meet individuals like that, and I've never met anyone like Dennis, but it's like when I met someone that was like metaphysically my twin for real, like I was like, oh, it's like it's like fun to do anything with him. So I'm really really excited that about all of it. I'm just really excited about all of it. And Justice, the Knight of Cups. Yeah, it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. I feel so deeply that there's like a Knight of Cups that wants to be sure that this would have been so successful, like testing the water and like, kind of putting out feelers that it's like, I'm interested, but I just like want to know where you're at. And I feel like we were in that phase for some time, trying to see, but I feel like it's just the same Knight of Cups that knew, like, I think the Knight of Cups had the feeling of like, it's kind of like what I just told you about Dennis. It's like when I met him, of course we had to do all the like, are we aligning? Is this what's happening? Like whatever. But like, I was just gonna take opportunities. Like, when I matched with him on Tinder, I was like, dude. And that was what it was. It was like first messages are like, can we fuck like immediately? Here's that, like, cool. It's like kind of in the vibe, but I think it was the hardest. It wasn't hard. It was like the most nuanced part was just like being like, I see you as this Queen of Cups. I see you as like the bride or the groom. I see that. And now it's kind of like finally the justice comes in where it's like, this offer is more matured and more like sure that it's gonna do this. And I think for me, there was like an intense period of like needing to be strong enough while the Five of Swords, like while people were making edits and cuts. Like I think it's like torturous. It's like, oh God, I'm trying my best to like dig my whole self out of this experience, and I'm trying to work my way to you, because it's like I felt that way. It's like when I met Dennis, it was like we had to move. It took us like almost 10 years to get everyone out of the way so that we could actually just like love in peace. And I think in the next round of like new soul connections that we come into, it would kind of be the same thing, but just like innovated on itself, where it's like, okay, it took me and Dennis 10 years to like kind of make the things match, but we kind of, with our businesses, we tried to like expedite that problem or solve that problem like ourselves. We were like, well, if we ever meet other people, we would kind of want to like show them the full. We don't really want like friends that like us to go watch a sports game, or like us to go like shopping, or like us to go to a concert. Like we like, but don't really like want to look at like Dolphin Boy Records. We don't want to look at like their spirituality. It's like we didn't want that anymore. So we were just like, we're gonna kind of be flagrantly like, this is the reality of it. This is who we are. No mask. The full thing. Because I think it was about solving the fact that we were like having all these conditional relationships. Yeah, there's a message coming in very much so. There it is. And I think this Knight of Cups feared it. I think it's a fear of rejection. I think it's a fear that the star might not like actually accept the cup, maybe. I think that's natural. Like when I met Dennis, I was kind of overwhelmed because I was like, I don't know if like you don't know how. I mean, it's like I think we're learning about telepathic communication. Is like it is true. Like it's usually like the feelings go both ways. But when I met Dennis, I was just like, I know I'm really like looking at him like, whoa, And I was also coming. It's like 2010, so it was like black girls weren't necessarily like in style. So at the time, it was kind of like I don't really know if he's still on the fetish wave. I don't really know if he feels like the way that I see him is like you're like my dream guy in general. And I don't know, like for every capacity, like I wanted to be Dennis's friend. I wanted to be like anything to him, like literally anything. I don't care, you know. So I feel like I relate to that, where I saw him as such a star that I was just like, I guess I could be like, I don't want you to reject me. But it wasn't possible. It was like very quickly felt that it's like not possible. Whoa, this is huge. This is well in the message, but this Page of Swords is finally ready to come in, and it puts Ten of Swords. It transcended it. You guys have successfully done this. We have successfully transcended and let go of everything we needed that would have been in the way for this connection, for union. It's truly amazing. Let's clarify the data. That's what I'm saying. Look at all these people surrounding. This is exactly how we started the message, talking about how in the old cycle it was like you and all these other people that you keep around you, you know, like this entourage, and it's like successful, I guess, until God brings in your fucking divine counterpart, and it's like, shit, that just flattened everything out, flattened all the stuff that I was like, you know. And I think there's so much investment in the star. There's like so much that people want to like. Because while the star may be keeping all these people around that are going to spiritually initiate them, who's really for them is over here stacking up a whole investment that's actually real. And doing so because they view them as a star, and because they know you were the person who would do this all the time. It's like you're the person who's like always like facilitating everyone. It's like, this is like the transition. It's like the transition from my photography job. It's like, well, I want to go somewhere where it's like I'm being given, like that people already acknowledge that's the star, and that there are people orbiting around me, rather than just being like benefiting from the orbiting around. You know what I mean? Type of thing. And this is why, like I said, this morning I was like writing a whole post tab where I was like, all right, if we're letting go, I was like, I'm gonna just let go of everybody. People don't like me. That's what it is. And so people was like, stop. Like they didn't, like they were like, oh, you need to shorten your message, because you know, I was typing up a storm. And so people was like, stop stealing from yourself. This is your lover. It's going to be successful. It just takes time because you're all in the middle of a life. You know what I mean? And it's huge for me because in the recent past, I feel like your Queen of Cups was like, I'm going to take my investment and go only, I'm no longer just feeding mouths. I have to go and have my own sense of value, because I think this is a very different position. This is like working somewhere where it's like, you can, like, this is like working in life or being an energetic person. It's like, I'm always just like in a dynamic of like, oh, I'm meant to serve you or nurture you or give you. And instead now there's like this new journey where it's like, you're actually just going to walk with whatever value you have. And it's like, I'm just going to give it to me. Because the people that, like you said, when you find yourself a Dennis, or for in Dennis's case, when you find yourself an Alexis, it's like, you didn't need anything. And you kind of can leave everything behind that was like codependent, or that you were like giving and taking whatever, because it's like, Dennis got a chance so many times in a relationship to just fucking start over and just take whatever he is and see how it, and go with me and see how it goes. And it worked out so well for us. Yeah. The tower comes down and knocks down this for all people. Like, you can't just be giving to people when you're not being honest. Like, there's a lot of people who are unconscious. A lot of people don't have a match for spirituality. So you know from your perspective, it's like, I'm just like giving to this person, and they don't really realize that I'm like just kind of. It's not that I don't like you. It's not that you're not like a nice guy, but it's like everybody wants to call brothers, or everybody just like, you can, that vibe of like everybody just wants to know you or just wants to be around. It's like that tower falls, you know. Because you really can only do that which is going to be equal give and take. Oh my God. I think this is also the day where the fool starts dying for the Empress. Like, I think the Empress has died to herself 1,000,000 times and has given examples of that loyalty. And I just don't think that the Empress is maybe prepared for justice. Okay, justice clarified by justice. For the justice of what you've done to be mirrored in this partner. This is also like you gotta let justice, let the karmic gavel knock and end something, because you're already an empress and you can just start again. Like the severing, the like this isn't happening anymore type of frequency is so foundational at this time. I feel like it is because it's just darkest before dawn, but it's also just like I said, like I feel like someone always knew you were the empress, and someone always knew that there was always gonna be like a fresh start. It's just like I think the hard part is like how much the Ten of Swords is gonna take, and I feel like this message of truth that you get lets you know that that Ten of Swords has been dealt with. But it's also like Spirit was like, it's not your responsibility to clear the other person who's your counterpart up. That's the thing. It's like me and Dennis had to do a lot of individual work on ourselves also, because like this relationship exists, it's powerful, it's wonderful, but it's also like we had to make the space for it. It's not like, you know, there's a lot of systems that didn't want someone like me and Dennis to be like together or doing whatever. So it's like, you know, you have to take So I was like, with Dennis yesterday, I was like, Dennis, we're cleaning up, we're changing everything. Like tomorrow's really gonna be a new day, and it's gonna be so different than we think, because we really are in such a magnetic and attractive space within ourselves. I also feel like this is one of those things where it was your call. Like there's something that you said that already gave the green light that's like, all right, I'm about to. Because I do think that like whoever your counterparts are, especially if you've been on this journey during Ascension, it's like, I think the insecurity can be like, I'm so sorry about like that, because I think you can feel guilty. It's like there's nothing to really feel guilty about though, that you were like unconscious and you were building a life, however deep and in depth it was, before you knew someone existed. Like I said, before Dennis came into my life, I didn't know he existed at a conscious level. Like I mean, I do now when I look back. I'm like, oh, definitely. But I was like asleep. I didn't actually even think for me there was ever that this was I did not even think I was gonna be someone who's a married person. I didn't know that, and it's so crazy because it's like such a young age. I got in a monogamy kind of vibe. It's like it was just shocking to everybody. It's like, oh, like, I didn't see that coming, you know, kind of thing. But again, the fear is like, you know, I know this is my path. I know this is the soulmate. I know this is whatever, you know. And I think this is like the ailment that comes into the Nine of Swords. Oh my God. As I said, this is the ailment that comes into the Knight of Swords. What? So when they come and speak this truth, they already have 10 Pentacles, Ace of Wands. That's what this page is coming to tell you. So that's our message today. Welcome to New Earth. You willed your way into New Earth, and now you're going to start seeing the truth. Yay. That's the message. We're going to get this one up. Super excited. I've just been taking it easy these days. Like, I've just got so much to let, like, wash over me and, like, process. I'm just kind of like, ugh. I don't really get to sleep in or just, like, rest in bed ever. So I'm like, all right. Is there any last card about what is going to happen today? The lovers are coming into union. Holy Trinity. The contract for the lovers. It's amazing. Because you picked right. Because you picked the real lover. It can materialize today, is what I feel. It's physical. You're able to actually build it starting today. So, congratulations on finally coming into union. This was a fun message. I just do my little thing. I don't know. So, I'm gonna eat some candy. Okay, bye.